Hey everyone, this is Malgazer returning with another installment to the Final Fantasy XIV story playthrough. Last we played, there was a lot of things that happened. We started the Domans, came up with the idea to actually make alliances with the other eastern countries in order to help combat the possibility of imperial reprisal. Then a lot of the scions started passing out, like their souls were apparently removed from their bodies, but their bodies are still alive. There was a voice in everyone's heads and it caused a great headache saying, you know, throw wide the gates or whatever they said. So hopefully we'll figure out what that means. And then in a cutscene, we got to see Solus, who was the one who founded the Empire, and start them on the crusade to essentially destroy all the primals, or icons as they call them. Found out that he's actually an Ascian, and the Ascians founded the Empire, which that's a pretty big deal, apparently. I also did a little bit of looking into my other character, who had gotten pretty far through this, and I found out that I am all caught up, so now everything from this point on is all new to me. It was actually pretty exciting for me. Let's go ahead and talk to Alize and begin. Let's see how much voice acting there is, if any.
I'm glad you've come, though I'm afraid there's little in the way of good news. After you left, we reached out to both the Alchemist's Guild and Stillglade Fane and attempted all manner of treatments. But the results were always the same. Whatever the answer is, it's not alchemy or conjuring. Why did it have to be Y'shtola and Urianger and not me? Out of all this, there were other ones who could feasibly have solved this puzzle. And Alphino's still missing. God, it's all going wrong. Where do we even start?
A grave situation indeed. Might I be of some assistance?
Sounds just like Alize.
Kryle, I did not think you well enough to travel.
When word reached me of the plight of our friends, I could not well stay away. As a fellow scion, not to mention your erstwhile mentor, this is one of those times you should feel free to call on me, regardless of my personal circumstances.
Yes, I should have thought of that. Thank you for coming, Kryle. We would welcome your insight.
And I should be happy to provide it. What's this I hear about Alphino heading into Imperial territory? That boy always did have some funny ideas. Do you remember the speech he gave when he was accepted to the Studium?
My life's goal is naught less than the salvation of this star.
And I'm just standing over there like, okay.
That particular grand pronouncement has been a source of great embarrassment to him, as you know. But the fact of the matter is, he meant every word and has lived his life accordingly.
Yes, he remains altruistic to a fault, but I'm worried he was too fixated on his goals to see the dangers, as has happened before.
You needn't be so concerned. Though his values remain the same, Alphino is not the blinkered boy he once was. Slowly but surely his eyes have been opened, thanks to a certain someone.
I wonder who that is.
A certain someone whom he'd be mortified to learn had heard about his little speech. Mum's the word, eh?
No, I'm telling him all about it. Oh, I'm gonna nod.
Right, I'd better have a look at our patients. They're in the infirmary, I assume. I'll need absolute quiet, so it would be best if I did this alone. If you'll excuse me.
Then she walks fast.
All three are in fine physical health. At a glance, I would say they were merely sound asleep. Except for the fact that I couldn't sense the slightest trace of them in their bodies. It's as if their souls have taken leave of their physical forms.
Ah, yes. The Elder Seedseer made a similar observation.
I've read the report. When you heard this mysterious voice, you described feeling as if you were somewhere else, yes? If we assume the ether which comprises your essence is being drawn to some other place, then it may be possible to follow the trail it leaves behind, just as we did in our search for Thancred.
I wasn't around for that, but I can't imagine it was easy.
It wasn't that hard.
Oh, it wasn't. But that's no reason not to try. I will have need of Master Matoya's crystal eye if I'm even to make the attempt. So, I suggest we pay her a visit.
I'm going back to Matoya. It's been a while. Oh, you're not going to teleport me? I guess. How inconvenient. Have to go all the way manually. Come on. Let's do this. Yeah. Aw. While I'm waiting for it to get over there, have me a drink. I believe, based on how things are going, hey, grab this while I'm going. That I will be getting to the beginning of Shadowbringers at the end of the stream tonight. Wait, next time I stream, we'll be into the expansion finally. And then the new expansion comes out in a couple weeks, so I probably won't be ready for it. Unfortunately, I don't get a whole lot of time to play, so just can play when I can, I guess. Hello, Alize. I heard Master Matoya was something of a recluse, but this seems extreme. Still, I'll happily overlook her eccentricities if she agrees to help us. Oh, it's taking me in automatically? Oh, that's nice. Oh, the music.
Disturb my peace again, have you? I hide myself away in a cave, and still you people insist on pestering me with your problems. Oh, I mistook you for young what's-his-name, but I see now you're the sister. Weren't you supposed to be the lively one? I've seen happier faces at a rain-sodden burial.
Well, I'm sorry to dash your expectations, but the situation isn't exactly conducive to gaiety.
That's more like it. Stoller used to spit and hiss like a wildcat too. Better for a young thing like you to be filled with fire and leave the doom and gloom to your elders. Now, what exactly does this tragic situation of yours have to do with me?
If I may, Master Matoya, we have need of your crystal eye once more.
Explain, explain. Explain a lot of things.
And Stoller is one of the afflicted, is she? Very well. She may be an ungrateful stray, but she's my ungrateful stray, and I'll not see her buried before I am.
Right. Let us see what we can see.
Awkward line.
I'll begin from where our friends first fell, and cast my senses out from there.
This reminds me of a line that I've heard in a movie a long time ago. I don't like the sound of that sound. Could have rewritten that line to be better, but whatever.
What is it? Did you find them?
This doesn't make sense. How is it even possible?
Spit it out.
How is what possible? Trial, what did you see?
The threads, they just ended. And no, I didn't lose track of them. I followed them as far as they went. It's as if they were cut off.
Could their ether have dissipated if it had? Oh gods! Their bodies are just husks. It's like the broodmother's daughter all over again.
No, this is different. The Kalyana girl was already dead, body and soul, when Lakshmi effected her resurrection.
Aye, let's not jump to conclusions. If their physical forms yet breathe and show no signs of wasting, then it follows that their souls must still be intact somewhere.
But where?
That's the question, isn't it, girl? Death has not taken them to the ethereal sea, yet there are no tracks left for us to follow.
We're no closer to an answer than when we started. But knowing their souls are still out there is progress of a sort. We just have to keep looking. Pray, excuse me a moment. Yes? I remember, but... What, to Alamigo? We're on our way. That was Lise. Apparently, a group of Populares have defected to Alamigo, and Maxima, the envoy Alphino left with, is one of them. I'm sorry. I realize we've barely begun here, but...
I'll go. You've made up your mind, and life's too short for dithering.
I'll do some digging in the meantime and see if there isn't some other method we could use to continue the search.
And then you'll figure it out, because you're that good. Maybe Matoya will help you. Oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, not again. The enchantment barely seems to take these days. I chalk it up to old age when I'm rather doubting it's that simple.
Before they took ill, Y'shtola and Urianger were sharing notes on a thinning of the ether. It seems to be happening all over.
Does it now? And here I was all set to blame my woes on that creaking mountain of refuse clogging up the Thaliac. I fear something has gone awry.
Whisper, whisper.
Still, there's naught to be gained from starting at shadows. You can only do what can be done, and that but one thing at a time.
No free teleport? I don't think so. Otherwise I wouldn't hear this music. Oh, that's why. So that was the woman who tamed Y'shtola. I had a distinct feeling of being grabbed by the scruff of the neck and having the nausea shaken out of me. When Alphino is back, I'd like to visit again and ask her what tale she has of grandfather. I almost can't bear to hear what Maxima has to tell us. But it can't be bad news, can it? Lise would have said. Unless, there's no point in speculating. Lise said she notified the guards of our coming, so we should head straight to the palace gate in the Alamigan quarter. I'll be praying for good news, learn what you can of Alphino's plight, and leave the search for our friends' lost souls to me. Why are you going that way, Krile? You need to go in there. I'll beat you there. Let us in.
I'm sorry to drag you halfway across the realm, but when Maxima mentioned Alphino, I thought you'd want to hear the news in person.
Ah, we meet again. Though I was hoping our reunion would be under more auspicious circumstances.
What happened to my brother? Where is Alphino?
Never fear, my lady. Your brother was in fine health when I took my leave of him, and I have no reason to assume that has changed.
You assume?
If you will allow me, I shall endeavor to explain events.
Yeah, let me talk. Jeez.
Our troubles began not long after we departed Doma. While crossing the burn, we were fired upon by the Emperor's personal guard and forced to make an emergency landing. As we stumbled from the wreckage, our attackers fell upon us again, and we would have perished there and then were it not for the intercession of a third party, a band of mercenaries whose leader claimed to pursue a vendetta against the Ascians. This shadow hunter, as he styled himself, then escorted us out of the wastes to relative safety. Upon arriving back in civilization, I gathered my Populares colleagues and prepared to flee the Empire. Master Alphino, however, declined the invitation to join us, preferring to continue his investigation into the Ascian threat.
Well, at least he's not lying in a heap in the burn. Tell us more about these Ascian hunters. Who are they? And is Alphino still with them?
He is. As to who they are, I'm afraid I have nothing to tell you. Beyond the fact that they root out and destroy Ascians, they were unwilling to divulge anything which might serve to identify them. They would not even reveal their next destination. But Master Alphino asked to accompany them all the same. Since parting company with your brother, we've been engaged in a game of cat and mouse with the Emperor's Guard. We made our way through province after province, finding the army busy restoring order wherever we went, until we finally arrived here in Alamigo. I cannot thank Commander Aldin enough for giving us such an unexpectedly warm welcome.
I'm not inclined to turn away refugees, no matter which land they call home. And if they can tell me how things lie in Garlemald, all the better.
On that subject, there is much I would tell you. During the course of our journey, we heard tales that an entire rebel army had been slaughtered in the space of a single night. It would seem my former comrades grew tired of putting down uprisings in the conventional manner, and chose instead to bring a formidable new weapon to bear. Details were sparse, but the rumor alone was enough to dampen the flames of rebellion. I have also heard reports that several companies have withdrawn from their designated provinces and begun marching westward. It is my assessment that the Empire's forces are mobilizing for a large-scale military engagement.
Westward? You mean they're getting ready to invade Alamigo?
We knew this was coming, but not that it would be so soon.
We've barely even begun to shore up our defenses. They won't stop an invading army.
No, they won't. Dispatch messengers to the Alliance leadership requesting reinforcements, and send word to our officers in the field to hasten completion of those border fortifications. Prepare to meet the Imperials head on! No matter how quickly we act, we still want for time. When the enemy comes into view, our best recourse will be to open negotiations with their commander, and see that the ensuing proceedings take as long as possible.
Would you and Alize head to Doma and let Lord Hien know about this? I'm sure he'll want to hear about Alphino too.
Back across the entire world again.
Consider it done. We'll send word when...
Untold sorrow must be changed. Ahead looms a calamity. Eon become instant. Throw wide the gates.
You heard it too. Well, at least we're both still standing.
Maybe not Cryo.
Oh, thank the gods. I thought we'd lost you for a moment there. Why does this keep happening?
Nothing we've tried has brought us any closer to an answer. We'll keep working on it. But first, we need to go and see Lord Hien.
Wondering why Lise isn't affected. I mean, is she just because she's recently a former Scion? Very strange. So Alphino is safe, but for the present at least. Now all we need to worry about is a full-scale Imperial invasion. I'm actually glad at least tasked us with visiting Lord Hien. Better to be dashing from place to place than sitting around stewing over things you can't change. To the Enclave. I'm just throwing money away over here. Teleport after teleport. That's a cool mount. In level 80. Yep. Probably an endgame mount or something. Maybe even a cash shop mount. Hey, look at all the other places here. Blue Kojin. There's the Mall. There's the Confederacy. There's the Nagyan and the Damascan. All the provinces and people around here that might be benefited from an alliance. Greetings, my friends. I was discussing future endeavors with the members of our newly formed alliance. The Kojin and the Confederacy, who you already know, and it was your own strength of arms that won us the cooperation of the steppe tribes. We've also been joined by our neighbors from Nagja and the indomitable citizens of Dalmasca, though the scattered nature of the latter's resistance will somewhat delay their official induction. These proud peoples have united under a single purpose, to stand against the tyranny of the Garlean Empire. I'm glad to see your alliance is coming together so swiftly. As things stand, I fear we shall soon have need of your strength. Explain, explain. Explain, explain, explain. I thank you for bringing me news of Alphino. His fate is never far from my thoughts, and not only because he is our emissary. As for the sudden deployment of Imperial forces, I agree that Alamiga will be wise to shore up its borders with all haste. Every report we received from our shinobi indicates a massing of troops in the western provinces. It seems almost certain that the Empire is poised to bring his fist down upon Eorzea. And he didn't tell Hien before we came over? And I would help deflect that blow, but I cannot risk sending reinforcements just yet. We will remain vulnerable to airborne assault until our wall on the burn is in place. The all-important Alagan energy barrier. The energy barrier, yes. I thought to call it something more auspicious. A name drawn from the four lords of legend, perhaps Sirius Aegis or some such. Well, just a thought. The Ironworks engineers report that they have finished calibrating the generators and are ready to proceed to the testing stage. Have you time to attend the first test? You've seen the field which protected Azaslav firsthand, and I would be interested to hear how you think ours compares. I will come too if you don't mind. Although I am no Y'shtola, I may be able to offer some insight. Of course. Time being of the essence, it would be best if we made directly for the burn. Yugiri, I leave you and Hakuro to bring the War Council to a close. Understood. Your mounts are saddled and ready, my lord. Where are the storms? Money! All the money I'm getting from these quests is paying for all the teleporting around I have to do. How ridiculous. We will cross the burn by Yol and Falcon as before. Join me at the overlook near the House of the Fierce. Look, more teleporting. Unless you're going to teleport me automatically. Just as I thought. But now I know a shortcut. Yeah, buddy. Get off the ground. Give the word and we're ready to take wing. Let's do it.
seems the engineers have matters well in hand. Should the barrier work as we intend, Doma will be free to reinforce her allies in Alamigo without fear of weakening her own borders. Honored friends, the time has come to put your hard work to the test. Start the generator.
Watch one of them say like, "We're not ready." Where's Sid?
Node 1 is operational. Nodes 2 to 8 are reporting similar energy levels. The barrier is forming. $1,000 yards, 2,000, 3,000. Expansion remains smooth. No fluctuations detected.
Kaboom! Except that the nodes are like right on the edge, so if they shoot one of the nodes, it'll go down.
Is that an Imperial airship? Of all the rotten timing.
But this is a gift, Mistress Alize. They can test our new wall for us. Seems solid enough, though I was hoping for a fireball.
That's when they die. He passed out.
What are you? Let me go! He has my brother!
Lower the barrier!
Yeah, go with her.
Be at ease, girl. The lad is not dead, merely locked in slumber.
No, not him too.
His voice sounds familiar. I think I know who it is, but we'll see if they confirm it.
We could identify no cause and found no remedy. Thus I sought to return him to Doma, and into the arms of Lord Hien himself, it would seem. It is a day for fated reunions. Would you not agree, adventurer? Or should I address you as the Warrior of Light?
It's Gaius.
Aye, Gaius van Baelsar, the Black Wolf. That was the title I was given, one I have long since relinquished. Stand down. The legatus of the 14th Imperial Legion died in Castrum Meridianum. I am no more than Gaius Baelsar, a man without rank or allegiance.
Impossible. There's no way you could have survived.
Do you remember how it unfolded? How I was deceived by La Habrea? How I was convinced that reviving the Ultima weapon would allow me to bring peace to Eorzea? The Ascian used me, as he used so many others, all to further the restoration of his wretched god. Yet even with the might of Alec at my command, you bested me. And as the Praetorium went up in flames, I was content to burn along with it. For a moment at least. A moment of folly. To surrender my life thus would have been to betray all who died for my cause. It was for them that I dragged myself free of the rubble, and swore vengeance on the Ascians.
How are you killing them?
The Black Wolf has shed his pelt, never to return to Garlemald or her legions. I live now only to exact revenge. My principal quarry was to be La Habrea, whom I gather you have since ushered unto oblivion. But so many more remain. Long as their kind lurked in the shadows, laboring to sow chaos throughout our world, I would see each and every one dragged into the light and put to the sword. Are the Scions not of like mind?
In this single respect, perhaps.
Then I shall continue the partnership the boy began, and share what intelligence I have acquired. Among the Ascians, the black-masked ilk are subordinate to those who wear red. This you already know. Yet among the red there exists a hierarchy. Those set adrift with the shards clearly stand below those still joined to the source. Nabriales, who once dared to intrude upon the rising stones, belonged to the former group, and while he was indeed a dangerous foe, his powers were inconsequential next to the paragons of the source. The first was La Habrea, who plagues us no more. There is also the white-robed Elidibus, and the elusive Emmet Selk, about whom little is known.
We have files on La Habrea and Elidibus, but I believe this Emmet Selk is new to us? As I assume my brother told you, we have evidence to suggest that an Ascian now walks in the body of the Crown Prince. Have you identified this interloper?
Elidibus seems the most likely culprit. As emissary, it is his role to maintain the equilibrium between darkness and light. Your many deeds in Hydaelyn's name have upset the balance, and I believe he seeks to restore it by throwing his considerable power behind the Empire. As a leader of the Ascians, he is one of our primary targets. It was on the trail of this very prey that the boy and I came across the scene of a failed uprising. In the absence of a single Garlean casualty, we inspected the bodies of the rebels, and the lack of any external injury drew my immediate attention. They had been slain by Black Rose, an alchemical invention of the Imperial Army. When I yet served as legatus, I ordered its production halted, and all stockpiles destroyed. Toxic gas is not a tool of conquest, but of extermination.
Toxic gas? This must be the new weapon Maxima warned us about. Something deadly enough to sweep away all resistance in a matter of hours. Gods. You don't think they're planning to use this in Alamigo, do you?
Put your fears to rest. We infiltrated the production facility and destroyed all existing stores of the chemical along with the plant itself. Even should they rebuild the operation, they will not soon manufacture another batch.
Good, they don't need that stuff.
Regardless, I would draw your attention to a directive we discovered in the plant's records. The document was marked with a recent date and authorized with the signature of one Xenos.
A dead man signing the death warrant for thousands. 'Tis bad comedy.
But the tale does not end there. Within that same facility was a chamber filled with devices of elegant design. Cloning technology, we realized. And what should we find in each and every incubator? But a young Emperor Solus. All of which prompts the question, were the Ascians responsible for these abominations, or was it the will of the Emperor? I must know which hand guides the Empire. Though I have given up my rank, I am yet a son of Garlemald, and I will fight for the future of my homeland. It is time I return to the hunting of shadows. We should focus on our common foe. To reopen old quarrels now would serve no purpose.
You saved my brother's life, so I'm willing to let sleeping dogs lie. But in truth, it's not my decision to make.
Look at me. We'll settle this another time.
There was a time when I scorned those who placed their faith in false gods, even as I, in my blinkered conviction, placed mine in Ascian promises. Unlike yours, my strength of will and my restraint was found wanting. We shall meet again, warrior of light.
So that was the infamous Black Wolf. An unexpected ally, to say the least. Well, I am content to leave the fine-tuning of the barrier to cleverer minds. Let us bid our friends from the Ironworks farewell, and see what can be done for Alphino back in Dorma.
Awesome, thanks for the teleport. Appreciate it. Creepy music. Alphino is safely ensconced in a private chamber. My finest healer is examining him as we speak. I've spoken with the physician, and there are no outward signs of illness. Alphino is lost in a sleep from which he cannot be woken, just like the others. It seems that even the lands of the Empire were not far enough away to escape that cursed voice. I share your frustration, Alzay, I do, but Alphino is returned to us alive and otherwise unharmed. All that remains is to find the means to wake him. Until then, you can but fulfill your duties as a scion, yours and your brother's both. You're right, of course. There are arrangements to be made, a little time to make them. Business then, my lord. Now that we know Seriu's wall works as intended, can we expect reinforcements for Alamigo? You most certainly can. As promised, we will send troops to bolster our allies at Eorzea without delay. Pray be aware, however, they will not arrive without delay. Save for some few who boast teleportation magics, the bulk of our force must be transported by sea, a lengthy voyage for which the smaller vessels favored by the Confederacy are ill-equipped. Accordingly, I mean to enlist the assistance of the East Autonaut Trading Company in finding suitable ships. As for navigating the distances in question, we are in the happy position of being able to call upon those who plotted the course of my people's exodus to Eorzea. Beyond the procurement of ships, I think it unlikely that our East Autonaut friends will consent to any involvement in military operations, and I am certain they will afford Alphino a berth aboard one of her vessels. I shall have a Kyrusian accompany him every elm of the way to the Rising Stones. You have my thanks, Lord Hian. Yagiri, I will go on ahead with our friends to Alamigo, enlist all those capable of teleportation, and put them at the disposal of the Eorzean Alliance as soon as possible. They will form the vanguard. Yes, my lord. This is exactly what we'd hoped for. Lys and the Alliance leaders will be glad indeed to welcome the combined strength of the East. Meanwhile, at the Black Rose chemical plant. I thought they said they destroyed it.
Our supplies at Black Rose have been ruined, but the new plant is already under construction. We should have the first batch ready in time for the offensive, Your Radiance. See that you do.
Yes, the infamous Black Rose. If I recall correctly, Gaius did not much care for the invention. A ruthless and indiscriminate weapon indeed, this airborne poison. It seems you are capable of making decisions worthy of your bloodline.
With no gift for sorcery, we Garleans must look to Magitech to even the odds. If it spares the needless deaths of our soldiers and serves the cause of this empire, there is no method I would not employ.
How very noble of you. Truly, though, I must commend you for embracing your role as Emperor. You play the part of the determined ruler well. Sometimes even I catch myself believing. A silent agent of death. Now that I think on it, Black Rose may well possess the perfect aspect.
Whisper, whisper. Jeez.
Slowly but surely, the deluge of light has worked upon the ether here in the source, and the gas should be most susceptible to its influence. Well, I shall leave you to your own devices. Go forth and bloody the land with your grand and glorious war.
Well, you do what, precisely?
Need you ask? I will be doing what all Ascians do.
I am well aware that your kind exists only to usher in the next calamity. But you seem oblivious to the harm your singular agenda causes to the Empire. You cannot have forgotten the events which followed your mortal demise. Our homeland was plunged into civil war for your failure to name a successor. The edifice you so carefully constructed was but a hair's breadth from collapse.
Are you truly so naive? You thought me oblivious to the consequences of a departure so painstakingly timed?
It was by design?
Well, of course it was. Though I will admit the resulting panic exceeded even my wildest expectations. But how can you be surprised? Throwing the world into disarray was the very purpose for which this nation was, as you say, so carefully constructed. Now, if you have no further questions, I must be on my way. Since we may not meet again in this lifetime, it would be remiss of me not to offer a word or two of gratitude. I really must thank you for this surplus of vessels. I can mold any host into my own image, but having bodies tailor-made for me in this fashion is so much less tiresome. You dabbled in elegant cloning techniques, yes? It certainly is a compelling, not to mention entertaining, field of research. And of all the options available, you chose the founding father on whom to experiment. You have a twisted streak to you, Varus, like grandsire, like grandson, hey? If events play out as planned, this will become something of a family enterprise. You will be the capstone of this world, I the anchor and shard, and together we will give the lie to this star's fraudulent existence.
That was more than a word or two. I wonder if Emmett Selk is the one actually possessing his body. Because Elidibus is possessing Xenos, right? I think so. We must leave now to convene with Eorzea's leaders, and it may be some time before I return to Doma. Akuro, I leave you in command. My lord. I shall assemble an advance party with all haste, and then join you in Alamigo forthwith. Thanks you, Gary. I've just received word from Lise. The Alliance has established a base camp near Alamigo's northeastern border. Once we've arrived at the locks, we're to report to the Resistance officer stationed in ports at Praetoria, who will point us in the right direction. Let's not keep them waiting. At least it's near a teleport. At least that one is. Another 1,000 gil down the hole. You must be the Scion party I was told to look out for. If you follow me, I'll take you directly to Alliance headquarters. Okay, another thing to be automatically teleported to. The Rising Stones, the CanCon, or whatever.
Welcome back, you two. Greetings, Lord Here. Glad you could join us.
Now kiss.
Glad to be here. I would have come sooner, where our own defense is not in question, but I am pleased to report that our soldiers are assembling for deployment to Alamigo as we speak.
We're grateful for your support. Thanks to the efforts of our allies, it won't be long before we've established defensive positions on this front as well.
We have some good news too. Alphino has come back to us. As for the bad news,
Whisper and then explain.
So, Alphino won't wake up. Gaius van Baelsar is alive and hunting Ascians, and the Empire is planning to poison us all with toxic gas. Does that sound about right? Ordinarily, any one of those things would have left me in shock. The way things have been lately, it's all starting to seem pretty normal. Getting back to your report, are we sure this Black Rose is the weapon Maxima was talking about?
It fits the description. And it seems we have Alphino to thank for sparing us an early demonstration of its effectiveness. I have a feeling this won't be the last time his bravery in the Empire will serve us here in Eorzea.
He wasn't even there for that long.
The threat of an unknown weapon has had us all on edge. But now that we know what we're dealing with, we can take steps to defend against it.
Okay, like what?
As for Gaius, I'm not sure what to think. Am I happy he's alive? Not in the slightest. Am I happy he's hunting Ascians? Ah, I'd have to say I am.
Oh, speaking of Garleans you didn't expect to see, we have a tale of our own, as it happens. When we sent envoys to the Imperial Army to request talks, they returned with the message that Varys Zos Galvus would be attending.
The Emperor himself. Well, Varys did sanction the Popularis peace mission. But knowing that an Ascian walks in his son's skin, I do not see how we can trust him or anyone from that nest of vipers.
The Alliance would stop negotiations regardless, if only to give ourselves more time to prepare. We do, however, require your cooperation.
Right. Yes. So, as a condition for the talks to go forward, the Empire has requested that a member of the Scions be present. There'll be a representative from each Alliance nation, of course, but I'm afraid we have to ask that you come along too.
God, Lise, you know how much I hate politics. But then, what choice do I have? Alphino and the others aren't going to do it.
Whisper, whisper, whisper.
Very well. I shall attend as the Scion's representative.
And mess things up.
In case you're wondering why I didn't ask you, the Empire also requested the presence of Eorzea's champion.
I'll be there.
That's settled then. We don't know what Varys means to bring to the table, or why he wants you there, but having you close at hand will make all the difference.
The meeting will take place on the border. Anticipating an early assault, we mean to position the bulk of our forces nearby.
The Alliance leaders should already be on their way. Once you're ready, we can head out and join them.
Well, I don't suppose it's polite to keep an emperor waiting too long, shall we? Let's go parley with the emperor. Who are these two?
esteemed representatives of the Eorzean Alliance. On behalf of the Garlean Empire, I thank you for inviting me here today. As this parley was convened at your request, I invite you to speak first.
Very well, Your Radiance. I, Nanimo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, should be pleased to oblige you. As recent events in Alamigo and Doma have made plain, the subjugation and exploitation of neighboring nations is not a sustainable policy. Should this day end in war, you may very well defeat us, but you will never extinguish the people's desire for freedom. Though it may not be in our lifetime, there will be another revolution, another war, and the cycle will continue. Doma has entered into a concord with the nations of Eorzea, a partnership wherein we recognize one another as equals. Garlemald could be afforded similar treatment. You need only set aside your ambitions and join us in paving a path towards peace.
You will not win me over with sophistry, Your Grace. As you know only too well, this alliance lacks the strength to keep the peace within its own borders. Even now, your struggles with the Beastmen continue unabated. Divided, you sow this fertile soil with the seeds of your differences and reap nothing but discord and chaos for your trouble. Eorzea must be united under one leader, one purpose. I would offer you both and bring an end to your strife.
With all due respect, Your Radiance, the only thing that you offered the people of Alamigo was fear and hopelessness.
The citizens of Doma can also attest to the meager arms of Imperial rule. There is no purpose found in a life of oppression, each day more uncertain than the last.
Our people are willing to die for their freedom. A great many already have, and countless more will, if we don't put an end to this madness here and now.
We brought order and stability to your lives. This madness and bloodshed is of your own making. You broke the peace, not Garlemald.
Peace. Order. You kill our peoples, despoil our lands, take everything that is ours. And what? You expect us to lick the boot that grinds our faces into the dirt?
Cross his arms again.
I expect you to weigh the costs. To recognize that countless lives have been lost on both sides in pursuit of a greater good, and to not squander all we have achieved in a fit of petulance.
Your Radiance, I fear I can personally attest to the dangers of pursuing one's vision with such righteous fervor. For 1,000 years, the Holy See of Ishgard waged war with dragons. A 1,000 years of sacrifice, of sorrow and hate, in which we bathed in the blood of friend and foe alike. Had it gone on any longer, we may well have drowned. Yet we have chosen to raise ourselves out of this bloody spiral, and have since made peace with our former enemy.
So I understand. No doubt the dragons were more receptive to your overtures in the wake of their leader's demise. You speak of peace, yet use war to achieve it. Your father would not have bothered to obscure his intent with honeyed words. He understood that strength is all that matters in the end. Without his clarity of vision, I can but wonder what will become of Ishgard and her people. There was a time when Garlemald too lacked a leader of conviction. Weak and unable to wield magic, we were at the mercy of the strong from whom we sought refuge in the bitter cold of the north. Were it not for the discovery of ceruleum and the subsequent development of Magitech, we might never have gained the power to take back that which was rightfully ours.
You speak as if your people were the first to have been driven from their homes. Limsa Lominsa was built by wayward souls in search of a place to call their own. On the shores of Vilbrand we found it, and from those humble beginnings did we grow and flourish. And all without robbing our neighbors of their liberty.
So saith the pirate. Am I to believe that you simply asked the kobolds to yield up their lands and that they were happy to oblige you? That you did not drive them out like rats in the hold of one of the many ships seized by your privateers? I will concede that after centuries of exile, reclamation may be mistaken for invasion. Nevertheless, it is not. And those who till stolen soil have no right to object when cast out in turn.
Your uncompromising nature rivals that of the Ixal. They too lament circumstances which they themselves perpetuate. Were they but to embrace peace, we would welcome them with open arms. Indeed, some few have done just that, and now receive of the 12's Wood's bounty. Would that your people might learn from their example.
You dare compare us to the Birdmen? You who thought to invoke the 12 and threaten all of creation? I came here in the hope of finding some speck of common ground, but I see now these discussions will accomplish nothing. Despite what you people may believe, I am not wont to choose the sword over the olive branch. 'Tis but a pity men are loath to accept one without first being shown the other.
Wait, I beg you. This meeting was supposed to be a chance to find a way forward together, not to bemoan the missteps which brought us here. Please. If you truly consider violence a last resort, there must be a way we can come to an agreement.
As Mistress Alisaie says, we did not come here to bicker over the past, but to discuss how we might strive towards a brighter future.
And all we've done is bicker over the past.
Emperor Varys, may I suggest a short recess, that all present might compose themselves prior to beginning anew?
Very well. I pray this intermission will suffice to move these talks in a more constructive direction.
He's acting like he has all the cards. And that his is the only way. And this is really not my forte. After his Radiance's little performance, it was all I could do not to swear at him. I honestly don't know how I ended up playing the mediator. I just asked myself what Alphino would have done, tried my best to do the same, and by some miracle it worked. But there really is no common ground to be found with that man, nor do I think he looked for any. So the question becomes, what did he come here to do? Because you may be certain it wasn't to make peace. Whatever it is, I can't make it out. Not yet, at least. We do have a little time before the parley is due to reconvene, though, so why not try consulting our illustrious leaders? Mayhap they have some insight to share. To talk to people... Ah. I will say one thing for Varys. He is well versed in Eorzean history. His interest in our affairs is that of a beast and its prey. The conqueror would know his enemies. All should know their enemies, yet there is much and more we do not know of the Empire. And it's up to change that here and now. You would have me ask the Emperor himself? Well, mayhap there is some wisdom in that. If we can skirt the storm of his displeasure, we may yet come to our answers, even if it does mean sailing close to the wind. This parley was never like to bring peace, but I had hoped to learn something of Emperor Varys' relationship with the Ascians. As had we all. Yet if he is in league with them, he is not like to volunteer the fact, and if he is not, how much weaker would his position seem for their presence? If we are to broach the particular subject, we will need to be subtle. Would that I knew more of the man. If you'd indulge me, Lord Hien, you received an imperial education, did you not? Is it true the Emperor's will is considered absolute? There is no higher authority in all of Garlemald, nor else in the heavens, come to that. Veneration of the gods is forbidden, the only worship permitted being at that of his Radiance's own person. That sounds suspiciously like a religion in itself. I share your disdain for their hypocrisy. Even as they denigrate the idea of faith, they revere their leader with a fervor others reserve for the divine. It is a flaw common to much of the doctrine they fed us. Logical on the surface perhaps, but contradictory upon closer examination. I wonder if a discussion of the various discrepancies might prompt Varys to reveal something. 12 have mercy, but for Lady Alisaie's timely interjection, we might well have come to blows at the negotiating table. Not that Emperor Varys has left us great many options. Is unconditional surrender all he will accept, do you think? Sounds like it to me. Ere he arrived, I'd have said yes, but having heard him speak, I cannot help but think he came with some other end in mind. Exactly, he's building up to something, I know it. How then should we approach the rest of the party? A parley. Have you anything to say, Warrior of Light? Invite Varys to explain himself. You believe he is more apt to reveal the truth if we put him at his ease? Mayhap you are right. Thank you, Malxair. Alright, Alisaie. You've spoken with everyone then? Good. Now all that remains is to wait for the pleasure of the Emperor. Await the pleasure, not for the pleasure. And hope we fare better at the second attempt.
Now then, who would have the floor?
Before we resume, I wish to offer you an apology. After you graciously accepted our invitation to discuss an armistice, we have done naught but rebuke you at every opportunity. I believe I speak for all of us when I say we are deeply sorry for our discourtesy.
I'll admit your familiarity with our affairs surprised me, and served to remind me how little I know of yours.
I think all here can understand the desire to reclaim one's homeland. But why expand further? That is my question.
If I may, the answer can be found in the Imperial doctrine they took great pains to impart to my people. Recognizing the threat icons posed the world, Solus Zos Galvus decreed that they were to be eradicated. To this end, he began a campaign to unite all lands under the Garlean banner. Or so we were taught. Yet the Emperor only reached the burn, the barren said to have been laid waste by icons, after conquering all the lands that lay between. What is more, I am quite certain the practice of summoning was not nearly so widespread in the days before the Empire's founding.
When you put it like that, it all starts to sound like an excuse, doesn't it? But to distract from what? Why are you really...
They even have moths.
Finally, you ask the right question. I can but hope you heed mine answer and at last accept the righteousness of our cause. My goal is this: to return the world to the way it once was, the way it was always meant to be. In doing so, mankind will be made whole once more. No longer will we suffer from the dissension born of our differences. There will be but one race, a perfect race, as we were when time began.
What in Rolga's name are you talking about?
I am talking about the origins of this star, of the source and its 13 reflections. At the instant of the great sundering, 'twas not only the world that was shattered, but mankind itself. Thus were we divided into myriad races, each with its own unique imperfections. That is why man looks upon his neighbor and feels fear and hatred, why he rages, why he kills his brother. You all in your own way have proven as much today. The peace you seek is but a fleeting solution to a fundamental problem. One which calls for more drastic measures. To bring about everlasting peace, our worlds must be rejoined. That is the goal the Empire would see realized. The glorious future unto which we shall one day shepherd mankind.
A rejoining of worlds.
I have heard this tale of the source and its reflections before.
Are these not the self-same desires as the Ascians?
Emperor Varys, do not trust in their words. They will lead you to your doom. My father thought to use them, but in the end he succumbed to their temptations. He embraced summoning like so many other pawns before him. Do not tell us you mean to do the same.
To be a pawn, free from the burden of choice, would be a blessing. But I forswore that privilege the day I learned that the Garlean Empire was built by the hand of an Ascian.
What?
Drop that bomb.
Yes. My grandsire, the former emperor, is of their number. And who better to build an empire capable of bringing about the calamitous change we desire? Would you condemn me for this alliance? For bowing to the will of these shadowy masters, when the prize is true and lasting peace?
Your prize is a lie, your master's demons.
I come not to conquer, but to liberate. To free man from the prison of divergence. Imagine a world united. One perfect race beneath a single standard.
It doesn't have to be yours.
An army before whose might these servants of darkness and light would fly as leaves in a storm, never again to meddle in man's affairs. We would be the masters of our own fate. I bid you join me, not as subjects of Garlemald, but of a new nation. And together we shall win freedom for ourselves and generations yet unborn.
You want to trigger another half-dozen calamities? You can't be serious!
Have you forgotten how many died? There will be no one left.
Do you truly imagine we would aid you in your bloodletting?
It is unthinkable, unconscionable.
We all stand up now.
And what is the alternative? To be as cattle waiting for slaughter? I would have us work together that we might take fate into our own hands.
You can do that as an alliance.
Into your hands, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly.
But what of the other worlds, your radiance? With every calamity, you obliterate a star and every soul that dwells on it.
To the Ascians, we are all but tiny, momentary specks within an indifferent universe. We cannot hope to oppose until we have been made whole once more.
Are these truly the words of Garlemald's ruler? The flaws and foibles which you so abhor are what make us who we are. Every nation, even yours, Emperor Varys, is made whole through the combination of these imperfections, the strengths of one compensating for the weaknesses of another. While it is true that man succumbs all too often to anger and avarice, he may yet overcome his baser instincts through the forming of bonds with others, fostering community and cooperation. That the protector of an empire should not only reject these fundamental truths, but seek to change them at so dear a cost to life is indefensible. Such a man is not fit to govern.
Dang.
And you, warrior of light, would you refuse me as well?
We can defeat the Ascians as we are. Everybody nod. Yeah.
It would seem the Alliance is of one mind on this matter.
You Eorzeans never cease to disappoint me. Though I suppose I have only myself to blame for expecting more from savages. This discussion is at an end. I bid you make ready for our next meeting. It will not be at the negotiating table.
He got out of there quick. Well, dang. Take that. I came back to find Doma's advanced party ready and waiting for battle. So, as worrying as our little chat with the Emperor was, it did buy enough time for at least some of our allies to arrive. Money.
I'm not sure what I was expecting from our meeting with the Emperor, but it wasn't that. Still, at least we know now what he's really after.
Aye, a future built on a mountain of bodies. I too want the Ascians dead, but not at any cost.
The last of the reinforcements from Rome arrived not long ago. I pray it will be enough. Given the Emperor's stated goal, this is a battle we can ill afford to lose.
If the Gallians come in force, we may not have much say in the matter, even with our combined strength.
We knew from the first that the odds would be against us. But if there is even the slightest chance of victory, we must do everything in our power to seize it.
We must seize it, full stop.
Here!
Let's go fight him.
The two of you are to join an irregular unit and support the main host. I won't bother asking if you're minded to fight.
After coming this far, how could I not? And for once, there's no one around to count them on me. Not that they would. Not even my brother. But we all know who will really make the difference. Ready to frighten some Garleans?
Heck yeah.
I wouldn't want to be on their side.
Might I ask you to accompany the Dorman contingent? They are strangers here, and your presence would do much to raise their spirits.
Weren't we already assigned?
We would be honored.
Unless one of the irregular units is a Doman unit.
When our people stride out with you in their midst, I dare say the Eorzeans will feel an ilm taller themselves. High spirits have a way of spreading.
What I wouldn't give to join you. But my duties as field commander will not allow it. I'll leave the front lines in your capable hands. Comrades, ready your arms. The hour of battle has come. May the crystal guide us to victory!
Since the others couldn't be here, we'll have to fight twice as hard. If Alphinaud wakes to find the Imperials have won, I shall never hear the end of it. It's strange. I thought I would be terrified when the fighting started. I should be terrified. But with you at our side, I can't help feeling everything is going to be all right. So please, don't you dare leave me alone.
Not planning on it.
No matter what happens, we have to survive together.
Is there some foreshadowing there? Am I gonna die? Oh, ruined the cool music. The Gimlet Dark. Oh, it's a dungeon. Well then. That was quick. Oh, because it's one of the ones for the Moogle event. I am new to this one entirely. Never done this. Excited. Ba-ba-ba-bam.
Forward! Forward!
Kill them all! Single target time.
Leave this to me.
Oh yeah? Leave what to you? Nice. Spread out and be wary of artillery fire. You have to fight one like thing every single one of these. Keep to the north. We will head off with our troops to the south. Okay. You know, I'll throw a slow out. There's a lot of battle already gone. We got here, there's a bunch of wreckage around already. Dang, this guy's... There we go. Wondering why it's taking forever to die. First boss. Let's see what we have here. Magitech Colossus. Let's hope it's pretty straightforward. Drawing blow. Is that the tank buster? Yep. What does that mean? Oh, I see what it means. He's just gonna go in a circle. Gotcha. That's kind of cool. Cerulean Vent. Is that gonna hit everybody? Yep. Makes sense. He's gonna spin right this time. Spins right, we should be able to stand here and be fine. Oh, never mind. But it clears up, we gotta make a move. This guy doesn't seem too hard. I kind of like that spinning mechanic, though. It's kind of cool. Gotta remember to use this. And kaboom. Dang, everything's crashing. Come on, let's clear this trash. Get to the next boss. Arrive at the impact crater. That's apparently the next thing I need to do. No other chests on the way? Strange. There's one. this the impact crater?
I shan't hold back.
It's Pippin! Brace yourself, they've called for reinforcements. Sorry, I had no points to throw a shield on you. Keep moving. We'll hold them here. Oh. Here's the impact crater. We're going to fight Prometheus. Nitro spin. That's going to hit everybody. And then create a ring of fire. Cool. I see that wall over there, so get out of the way, it looks like. Oh. Jeez. Your unbreakable Sermon Drill. Is that a tank buster? Probably. Freezing missile. Okay, look at the walls again. Oh. Oh, there's a little bit of lag there. And finished. Very nice. That was kind of cool. In provisional Imperial landing.
You underestimate me.
It's Emmerich and Kanesena. What are you guys doing over there? Get over here. Everybody's over there.
This knight does not yield!
You seem troubled, friends. Not getting tired, are you? That's Hien. And you, Giddy. Everyone's here. Ow. Fear not. Help is on the way. Thanks, Pippin. Lisa's here. Yeah. Like I said, everyone's here now. Where are you going? Ow. I threw like 15 heals on me at once. Slight exaggeration, but dang. Or, okay, I was like, where's my camera? It's in the fire. Ooh, a bigger guy. Unbreakable Cermet Blade. Thanks, Kane Santa. Hey, Mark, what are you doing over there? Pippin was over there, too. There we go. An explosive. It must be stopped. Behold, the art of the shinobi. Oh yeah? Oh dang. I want that ability. That's cool. Go on, Malkazir. Leave the soldiers to us. Oh, I guess I'll pass on that then. Dang. Oh, these two guys. Or girls, or whatever. These savages bested our vanguard. Impressive. But in the end, they're only that. Savages. Now let us be brief. His radiance awaits. Julia and Anya. Okay. Anya, take the field. Very well. I leave artillery fire to you. Delta Trance, eh? Excuse me? Am I missing something? They'll not escape. Stunning sweep. Impressive. Anya, let us engage them together. They cannot hope to evade us both. What are they doing? Anya, fall back. Very well, leave the artillery to me. Ready the ceruleum tanks. Couldn't get out all of them, I guess. Maybe there was a better way to go, but I did see it. Wasn't really looking for it, though. Whoop. That crosshatch. Ah. Did we win? Nope. It seems we have no choice, Julia. Where are they? You should feel honor, savages. Few are they who have witnessed this twice. Few still who have witnessed this. Oh. Go, go, go. There we go. We have served our purpose. Come, we shall withdraw for now. Oh, we didn't kill them. All right. Awesome. That was pretty cool. Good to fight the Empire, like quite a bit of them.
There you are, and none the worse for wear.
Indeed. I had hoped we might do more to help, but there seems to be no one left to fight.
A tactical withdrawal, perhaps?
We should give chase. Finish them off while we have the chance.
Mm-mm.
Imagine the other surprise when they wake to find the war already won.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
The light will expunge all life. Only you can forestall the calamity. Throw wide the gates.
No! 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 Not like...
And there she goes.
Oh no. Don't tell me. Are you all right?
I'm fine, because I'm the best.
Quickly, we must get her back to the encampment.
I can carry her. She weighs nothing. Raban. So the Garleans have been routed, have they? Well done. Well, this exchange was no more than a test of our strength, like as not. They won't be taking any chances now that the Emperor has joined the fray. They'll want to take their time, whittle down our defenses. Still, with your help and that of our eastern allies, we have passed the first test. Our line is unbroken. As for Alizé, well, she's in good hands over at the infirmary. My lord, the Carugians have completed their examination of Mistress Alizé, and it is as we feared. He's locked in a slumber without any outward cause. Just like the others, damn it all. Hopefully Kryle found something. The Garleans picked a fine time to come knocking. 5 scions incapacitated, and with the enemy on our doorstep, I cannot spare them in to assist in the search for a cure. The best I can do is see to it that Alizé is escorted safely back to the Rising Stones. Ugiria and I will return to our encampment. The main contingent of our forces from the Far East is under sail, and all must be made ready for their arrival. I'll not keep you then. Yeah. Judging by the Garleans' recent movements, or lack thereof, they won't be launching another offensive in the immediate future. You should return the Rising Stones. Given the plight of your fellow scions, I can understand if you feel on edge, but you'll be no good to anyone without rest. Bum 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 bum. No one here to meet me except for Hoary Boulder. Malgazar, welcome home. Word has it you and Mrs. Alizé gave the Garleans quite a thrashing. Speaking of whom, where is Mistress Alizé? I was certain she would have returned by now. Does he have a voice now? By the 12th, not her too. Ochre and I will ready the infirmary for her arrival. We will also need to send a message to Tataru post-haste, so that I had something other than grim tidings to share with her. Have we not told her yet? And with you too, for that matter. It grieves me to report that the Archon's conditions remain unchanged. As we speak, Coltonet, Kryl, and Master Matoya continue to explore every possible avenue. Alas, their efforts have yet to bear fruit. But all is not lost. You are still hale and whole after all. Though I suspect you must be tired from your journey. You should rest, my friend. Leave the worrying to us, for the time being at least. Meanwhile, at the border of Alamigo. Oh, that was it? War, what is it good for? A new title for that? Actually, I didn't. Fine. Like my titles. People can look at that and see how far into the story if I had the right one on. Or the most recent one. Alcazar, yours is a welcome face and indeed these troubled times, even though I haven't left. Though if you've come to inquire about our stricken brothers and sisters, I am afraid I have not to report. Coltonet and the others have continued their tireless search for answers, and I too have done all in my power to assist them. Alas. My apologies for the intrusion. I was told Master Alphino had been brought here, and wished to see if his condition had improved. Oh? Hello, Maxima. Master Malcazar, I have heard about the part you played in driving back the Empire's forces. Thank you. That you were able to stop them, if only for a short while, gives me hope. I realize how strange such words must sound coming from Garleon's lips, but I speak them out of the love I bear for my homeland, because I wish to see an end to the bloodshed. That is why I chose to share all that I know with the Alliance. Though I will surely be branded a traitor, I am content to bear the ignominy. It will seem a small price to pay if it helps to prevent this conflict from escalating any further. But enough of my prattling. The war is not what brought me all this way. I came to see Master Alphino. An acquaintance of Malcazar and Alphino, are you? Well, far be it from me to turn away good company, if you'll follow me, sir. When word reached me that Alphino had returned, it seemed only right that I visit him. Poor lad, it pains me to see him as thus. But I take solace in the knowledge that he is safe and well cared for. He fought valiantly at the burn. The populares would have not wished for a more committed ally. I know not how he came to be so afflicted, but I pray a cure will be found soon. On an unrelated note, you may be interested to know that I traveled here in the company of another acquaintance of yours. Okay. He awaits my return at North Silvertier, and I am certain he would be glad to see you, assuming you can spare the time, that is. Yep, no battles to be fought right now. So, take a little jaunt. Yeah. Come on. I wonder who it is. That Sid? There you are. I was beginning to think you would not come. It's Sid. It sounds like you've been through the mill. You should have called me. Though I must confess, tracking down missing souls isn't exactly within my field of expertise. As you may have surmised, I heard much of Master Garland growing up in Garlabald. Indeed, he has long been a source of inspiration to me. Most Garlands would say he is a traitor, but that he turned his back on his country. We, the Populares, however, consider him a revolutionary, a man willing to defy the Empire's dreams of subjugation, that his inventions might bring about the better future for all mankind. Please, revolutionary is a term best reserved for my work. I am but an Imperial defector who thought to aid another Imperial defector. Whatever Master Garland says, I am humbled to find myself in such distinguished company. Now kiss. Speaking of distinguished company, we heard from Ralban that you ran into an old friend in the burn. Is it true? Gaius still lives? Like most in the army, I never had the privilege of seeing the legatus without his mask. I think I walked halfway across the burn in the presence of the Black Wolf. And he claimed to have severed ties with the Empire to hunt Ascians, did he? After his humbling at the Praetorium, one would think he'd have a good sense to stay dead. Should we meet again, I shall be sure to tell him so. Commander Alden also spoke at the Alliance's meeting with the Emperor. Though I still labor to believe what he told us, did his Radiance really claim that Garlemald was founded by the Ascians? But that is madness. The very notion is absurd. Every fiber of my being rails against it. And I see there is no escaping the truth. From the very founding of my homeland, my brothers and sisters have laid down their lives in service to a lie. The Ascians must be stopped, to save my people, to save all peoples. For all the Empire's many crimes, even I did not suspect. Had I known, I would have left a lot sooner. But that is in the past. Here in the present, we must apply ourselves to the problem of how the Empire's ambitions may be thwarted, not only in Eorzea, but in the Far East as well. The Ironworks will spare no effort to achieve that end. Syria's wall was a good start, but we can do more, and we will. We'll show them what it means to achieve freedom through technology. Making your pardons, I bear a message for the Warrior of Light. Okay. Commander Alden, request your presence at Alliance headquarters in Alamigo. He will discuss matters of strategy at your earliest convenience. I'm not a strategist. Ah yes, the inevitable messenger. I knew it wouldn't be long before duty called you away. Time, no doubt, being of the essence, could I tempt you to ride aboard the Excelsior? If there's a faster way to Ralban's side, I'll personally apologize to the commander for keeping him waiting. I could teleport. Let's all go for a ride. I swear, every time you board my airship, you seem to be barreling headlong into danger. And every time, you somehow contrive to emerge victorious. Which, of course, is an admirable skill. But no one is invincible, Malchazar, not even you, so please take care of yourself out there. I pray you remain safe on the front lines. Though ill-equipped to join the fray, I shall do all I can to assist from headquarters. My colleagues and I have been tasked with evacuating casualties by air. See that you aren't among them, eh? Commander Alden is waiting, sir. It'd be best if we proceeded to Alliance headquarters at once. Let's do it. Oh, he has shinies around him, means it's going to be something. You're here, good. I summoned you to discuss strategy, but first I would apprise you of the Guardian's movements. Several cutscenes will play in sequence. This is the end of the Stormblood, post-Stormblood quests. The next quest, I believe, should be the beginning of Shadowbringers, so let's see how long this takes.
Several skirmishes along the border, but as yet neither side has delivered a decisive blow. We had long assumed that the Garleans would overwhelm us in a straight fight, but we seem to be gaining ground, albeit slowly. As to why that might be, the most likely explanation is that they have yet to commit all their forces. Still, we're winning, and our latest intelligence suggests the Emperor has retreated back to Garlemald. In light of this, we're considering launching an offensive with the aim of pushing the front line forward and giving ourselves some room to breathe.
Commander, the Imperials. They've broken through our defenses to the east.
What?
Our scouts say their forces are being led by Lord Xenos. Lord Heian and Commander Heck are making their troops to provide support, but we don't know how long they can hold out.
Let's go fight Xenos.
They've been biding their time, waiting for his arrival, have they? Very well. Send word to our allies, requesting reinforcements for the front line. Should the worst come to the worst, I may need to enter the fray myself. But what of you? Do you still have the strength to fight?
I'm fully healed up. I have all my mana. Yes. You need to only say the word.
Much obliged. Given the choice, I'd take you over 100 soldiers. What's wrong? Is it the voice again?
Nod. Yeah.
Are you sure you're in a fit state to do this?
Not anymore. Oh, I guess so.
May Ralga grant us strength. Give him hell, lad. I, for my part, will defend this place to my dying breath.
I hope not. Don't die, Raban. Meanwhile, at the border of Alamiga. Uh-oh. Do I get to play as someone else now? It's kind of a weird thing. I don't know if I care for it. In fact, role playing. Attack. I'm gonna read my abilities here. Executes the following weapon skills in succession 1, 2, 3. If they are not ready, the combo will start again. Delivers an attack with a potency and does damage over time. Oh, a charge and a heal. Alright, let's do this. So there are still those willing to stand against the Crown Prince. Interesting. Let's put this end of this here and now. Do you truly believe that possible? Then let us test the limits of the Scarlian vessel. Not a travesty, no! Ow. You, a formidable foe, but we have come too far to fail now. Soon I shall give the lie to man's indomitable spirit. Brace yourselves. What do I have to do here? Ow. Warrior Fight is still nowhere in sight. Strength, my friends. We would not do it to have Malchezaar arrive and find us battered and broken. Fight and struggle if that is your wont, but you will not escape your fate. Our fate is not for you to decide. Enough, you will learn your place. Behold, a taste of my true power. Oh, down for the count. What is this sorcery? Look upon Ameno Vigiri and know the depths of your folly. Oh, no, you don't. Please, no. What have you done? She took my place. If you would bring all to bear, then so must we.
The art of my forebears.
Well done, dispelling these phantoms. Now hurry. We must protect Lise. So you choose to struggle against the inevitable. He's but a few hundred yalms away. He may be on the back foot, but it's not over yet. Ah. If we could at least hold out till Malchezaar arrives, I'm sure we could turn this around. Oop, sorry about that. He comes, does he? Then I need not waste my time on you. Oh, switching. Oh, the music stopped. Dang. Everybody's getting wrecked. Yeah.
magic with a Garlean body. That's hardly fair.
Why was it only you three against him?
Still, he must be stopped, no matter the cost.
I am here.
Bringer of light. It has been too long. No words to mark our reunion? So be it. Equilibrium must be restored, and only your death will redress the balance.
We will suffer your interference no longer. Well, you can't really stop me, so... Triple A. And Spark? What was that gonna do? Hit me 3 times? Oh, this is the acid music. It's been a while. You think you know the dark, but I will show you the true nature of our power. The potential of this vessel is transcendent, without limit. Oh, I was paralyzed. I'm like, oh, is there a little bit of lag there? Nope. You are strong, more bringer of light, but her blessing will avail you not. To redress the balance, to ensure the salvation of the star, you must fall. Impossible. How is it you have grown so powerful in the gift? I'm just good. What can I say? Oops, hit interrupt. Oh well. No matter, you may bested La Brea, but I will not be cast aside so easily. Have to dodge that and that. Oop. Wrong button. Constantly throwing out those little orbs in a spiral. Oh, I guess they're stopped now. Die already.
I see. Your mother chose her champion well. Yet, for all your strength, you will still fail.
I beseech you.
Ah, someone calls to you. Too late, alas.
At last, I found you. Please, there's no cause for alarm.
Enigmatic figure.
Though, I confess, this is not where I had intended to meet. But the place of our meeting is of no consequence, like the war you wage. Win or lose, the path you walk leads only to oblivion. The better path leads you here, to me. I have need of your strength.
You have to send me back now.
The battle is over, the danger past, but your work is not yet done. Go to the Crystal Tower. I have left something for you near its base. It will serve as a beacon of sorts, one which I pray will help you on your journey. All you need do is find it. I will take care of the rest.
He's like half stone.
We will throw wide the gates. And the path to the first will be yours to walk at last.
Was it Honorwa?
You're awake. Thank heavens.
Where is Xenos?
I see you recall that much, at least. In the midst of your duel, it is said you faltered, and that the Crown Prince seized the opportunity to deliver a mortal blow. Yet before his blade could find its mark, he was distracted by the arrival of a second adversary who bore you away from the battlefield and into the hands of our chirurgeons.
He changed the pronunciation.
Lest you wonder, he left before you awoke. As is his wont.
Estinian.
Estinian never was one for emotional farewells. Though Xenos bested all before him, the battle clearly took its toll, for he retreated shortly after your rescue. Seeing this, the remaining Imperial forces decided discretion was part of valor and pulled back, allowing us to re-establish our position. We have since received word of renewed unrest in the provinces, doubtless inspired by the efforts of the Eorzean Alliance and our Far Eastern allies. Nor does the good news end there. We have also come into possession of intelligence suggesting unrest within the Imperial Court. This would certainly explain why both the Emperor and Lord Xenos appear to have abandoned the fight. A long-awaited ray of hope in these dark times.
Is Alze all right?
Yet to awake, I'm afraid. But please, concentrate on your own recovery for now. You have carried the hopes of some half-dozen nations, and we are all eternally grateful for your efforts. But no one is without their limits, not even you. Leave this fight to us, my friend. You have earned your rest.
But I am the best.
But before I forget, I was asked to deliver a message as soon as you awoke. A reminder that you are not alone, though many of your allies have fallen. When you are well and rested, you are to return home, where friends will be waiting for you. Now, if you will excuse me, I must return to the front. May we meet again soon, under happier circumstances.
Well, this is a most unexpected surprise. I thought you can find a bed. Lord Edmund. When I heard that you collapsed in the battlefield of battle, I confess I feared the worst, but with you standing here before me, I see now the reports of your defeat were greatly exaggerated. Thank the Fury. As long as we have you, Master Earthbiter, history suggests we have a fighting chance. Speaking of fighting, you may be surprised to hear that the war's effects can already be felt even here in Ishgard. In anticipation of a need for reinforcements, our Tro will soon be departing for the front lines with a contingent of our finest knights. I would advise you to stay until your strength is returned, but I know it would be an exercise in futility. Indeed, I suspect you have already decided on your next destination. Dark days lie ahead, of that I have no doubt, but the light of hope shall ever guide our steps so long as we have the will to press onward. And press onward we must. Farewell, my friend. I pray our next meeting will be under happier circumstances. Isn't that what Amark just said? Come on. There we go. I miss this music. It's the good version too. You defeat Xenos Yagavis. Like it just says that right there. His name is Egg Sandwich, and then there's Soybean. Cinematic immediately. Jotaro is back.
By the 12! I don't believe it! I rushed back as soon as I could. I swear, my heart nearly stopped when I heard you'd collapse like the others. What in heaven's name is going on?
I'm gonna go find out. Explain, explain. Explain, explain. Explain.
Win or lose, lose, the path you walk leads only to oblivion. Oh, well, that's helpful. And what else did he say? The better path leads to him? If his is the voice you've all been hearing, perhaps the others are with him.
I hadn't thought of that.
Fighting had reached a stalemate, didn't he? But if that monster masquerading as Xenos comes back... Thancred, Yestola, Urianger, Alphano, Alize. You're going to need all of them on your side to defeat him. And I forbid you from going to face him on your own. Do you hear me?
Well, if he is controlled by an Ascian, I do know how to destroy Ascians.
So if you must leave, go and find the others. Bring them home.
No one's going to say how dangerous this could be. Just go for it.
As for where to start, you said the Stormblood had left a beacon for you at the Crystal Tower, right? But how are you to find it, now that the tower has been sealed shut? There has to be a way. If anyone would know, it's Sid and the researchers of St. Coinac's find. Don't you worry, we'll find that beacon for you.
More nods. Yeah. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace.
I pray you have good reason for abandoning the front.
How could I remain there while the rumor that my son is possessed by a demon spreads like a sickness here at home? I will not be made to fight for the throne a second time. But what of you? Did you not tell me you would destroy Eorzea's champion with the ease that one might swat a fly?
A minor setback. He will not escape me again. Where is your king, sire? I would have words with him.
How should I know? Do you hide from each other's sight as well? I imagine he's doing what all Ascians do.
He must have found a way to take advantage of this turmoil.
Men are not pawns to be played with, Ascian. You underestimate us at your peril. This war will not be decided by you and yours. Man must choose his own fate, and I, for my part, will do all within my power to see Garlemald emerge victorious.
Pray forgive the intrusion, Your Radiance, but the requested preparations are now complete. We stand ready to begin production of Black Rose upon your order.
Evil faces evil. This is the credits music. Yep. Skip. Let's turn in this quest. I knew you'd be alright, and to celebrate your return I made you this, a brand new traveling outfit. Oh, I do hope it fits. But now's not the time for it to fuss over your measurements. I must go and speak with the researchers of St. Quenix Find. You go and rest while we track down that beacon. Yeah, I knew it.
My enemy. My friend. Had I been but a step faster.
This is the actual Xenos. How did the Ascian... Oh, that's right. They can make cop bodies or whatever. It's just a lot easier otherwise.
A pity your hunt leads you elsewhere. Not that I am surprised. May you find joy in it. Grow stronger, more savage, and savor every triumph. In the meantime, I will reclaim that which is rightfully mine.
But how am I to get in? In the midst of a requiem for heroes, a voice rings out across time and space. In fields of tranquil light, sow you seeds of darkness. All right. Requiem for Heroes. What's the name of it? Yeah. Boom. And the next quest is... Yep, the very first quest in the Shadowbringers expansion. Finally made it. A whole expansion and post-expansion quests await me. And then, of course, a new expansion, like I said, is coming out soon. So then I have that, too. So there's still plenty more coming. I'm going to go ahead and end it here a few minutes early. That way we don't get locked into the opening of the Shadowbringers. We'll do that next time. We'll go ahead and stop the recording. All these will be uploaded to YouTube per usual. So everyone, peace out and catch you next time.